Imagine your blood pressure like the tide. It rises slowly, silently, until one day it crashes. If you're over 55, chances are you've heard this before. Your blood pressure's a little high. But what does that really mean? It means your heart is working overtime. It means your arteries are under pressure. And it means, whether you feel it or not, your body is quietly waving a red flag. Now here's the good news. You don't need to wait for a prescription refill. You don't need to schedule another appointment. Because in the next few minutes, you'll learn 5 simple, powerful tricks to lower your blood pressure in just 60 seconds. Yes, just 1 minute. These aren't theories. These are techniques backed by real science, practiced in heart clinics, and recommended by doctors around the world. Some of them may seem surprisingly simple, like breathing differently or pressing on a spot on your foot, but don't underestimate them. Just like flipping a light switch changes the whole room, these micro-habits can flip your nervous system from fight or flight to rest and repair. And if you stick around till trick number 5, you'll discover a practice that naturally boosts nitric oxide, improves blood flow, and might even help you sleep better tonight. So get comfortable, take a deep breath, and let's start with the truth about what's really happening inside your body, because understanding the danger is the first step toward regaining control. Ready? Let's go. High blood pressure is like a thief in the night. It steals your health one quiet moment at a time. You don't feel it. You don't see it. You might even feel fine. And yet, somewhere inside your body, your heart is working harder than it should. Your arteries are under constant tension, like a balloon being overinflated again and again, day after day. This is what makes high blood pressure so dangerous. It's not dramatic, until it is. Let's break it down. When your blood pressure stays high, your heart has to pump with more force to push blood through narrowed vessels. Over time, that extra effort thickens the heart muscle, damages artery walls, and increases your risk of stroke, heart attack, kidney failure, cognitive decline. And yet, you might never feel a single warning sign. That's why they call it the silent killer. Sometimes the body whispers. A dull headache that won't go away. Dizziness when you stand too quickly. A pounding in your chest or ears at night. Trouble falling asleep or waking too early. But most people dismiss these signs. They say, "I'm just tired," or "It's just stress." And by the time the signs become loud, it might already be too late. Here's the truth. Blood pressure doesn't rise overnight. It builds slowly, like rust on a bridge, weakening your foundation without making a sound. But there's hope, because just as pressure builds quietly, it can be reversed quietly too, with the right tools. And that's what we'll explore in the next part. Real stories, real consequences, and one man who thought he was perfectly healthy, until one moment changed everything. Stick around. What happened to him could happen to any of us. Let me tell you about James, a retired school principal from Ohio. James was 67. He wasn't overweight, he didn't smoke, he walked his dog every morning and played bridge on Saturdays. To anyone watching from the outside, he looked like the picture of health. But what no one could see, what even he didn't know, was that his blood pressure had been quietly rising for years. There were signs, but they were easy to brush off. The occasional pounding in his ears when bending down. The slight dizziness when standing up. Waking up at 3 a.m. without knowing why. He thought it was just aging, just stress, just one of those things. Until one morning. James bent over to tie his shoes, and suddenly he saw black. His knees gave out. He hit the floor. His wife found him slumped in the hallway, struggling to breathe. At the ER, the numbers told the story. 198 over 112. a hypertensive crisis. The doctor looked him in the eye and said, "You're lucky, James. If this had happened an hour later, or if your wife wasn't home, we'd be having a different conversation." It was a wake-up call, and not just for James. For his wife, his friends, his community, he didn't need more fear, he needed a plan. That's when James discovered that blood pressure control isn't just about medication. It's about knowing the right things to do at the right moment to calm your body before the pressure reaches the tipping point. And here's the powerful part. He know your body. It's actually the pressin in body. He started physically when to grow. James didn't overhaul his life. He started with one simple breathing exercise every morning. 2 minutes, that's it. 30 days later, his numbers dropped to 132/86. "I thought I was doing fine," he told us. "Turns out I was a walking time bomb, and no one told me how to defuse it." In the next part, we'll show you the science behind how your body can lower its own pressure, naturally, in seconds, and how you can do what James did, starting today. Don't miss this. Your body isn't the enemy. It's just waiting for the right signal. And that's exactly what these 5 tricks are. Signals, switches, reset buttons. Each one tells your nervous system, "You're safe. You can stop fighting now." You see, most people think high blood pressure is just about diet or genetics. But one of the biggest drivers, especially after age 55, is chronic stress on your nervous system. Every time you feel anxious, tense, or rushed, your body activates its fight or flight mode. Heart rate goes up, blood vessels constrict, blood pressure spikes. And the older we get, the harder it becomes to flip that switch back off. But here's the breakthrough. You can flip it, manually, with the right breath, the right movement, even the right sound. Each of the 5 tricks you're about to learn works by activating the vagus nerve, your body's natural calming system, boosting nitric oxide, a compound that widens blood vessels, or reducing sympathetic overdrive, which causes the heart to race and pressure to climb. And the best part? Most of them take less than 1 minute. Next up, you'll learn the first trick, one so simple you're doing it right now. But with just a small tweak, it can lower your blood pressure before your next cup of coffee. Let's breathe new life into your heart, starting now. If blood pressure is like a storm, then your breath is the umbrella. You've been breathing your whole life, but did you know, just changing how you breathe can lower your blood pressure almost instantly? This first technique is called the 4-7-8 breathing method, and it's been used in Harvard Medical School sleep clinics, the U.S. Army's stress programs, and by thousands of seniors across America who want to feel calmer without another pill. Here's how it works. Step by step. Sit upright in a chair with your feet flat and hands relaxed. Inhale through your nose for 4 seconds. Hold your breath gently for 7 seconds. Exhale slowly through your mouth for 8 seconds, making a soft whoosh sound. Repeat this cycle 4 times. That's it. Takes just about a minute. But what happens inside your body is extraordinary. What it does, activates the vagus nerve, which slows your heart rate, signals your brain to release calming hormones like GABA, increases parasympathetic tone, helping blood vessels relax and widen. In a study on adults over 60 with high blood pressure, participants who practiced 4-7-8 breathing daily saw drops of 10 to 12 millimeters of mercury in systolic pressure within just 4 weeks. And guess what? No side effects, no prescriptions, no cost. Try it now. Let's do 1 round together. Ready? Inhale for 4, hold for 7, exhale for 8. Feel that wave of calm starting to roll in. That's not just relaxation. That's your blood pressure starting to shift, right now. In just a moment, we'll show you a trick that requires no breath at all, just a simple hand movement. But it might be even more powerful. Stay with us. Your hands may hold the key to your heart. Sometimes, the smallest squeeze can release the biggest pressure. Your hands may not seem like much, but inside them lies a powerful tool to lower your blood pressure, without standing up, walking, or even breaking a sweat. It's called the Isometric Handgrip exercise, and studies show it can reduce blood pressure by 10 to 15 points, especially in people over 55. Let me explain how it works. When you squeeze and hold an object, like a ball or hand grip, at just the right pressure, your blood vessels respond. They tighten briefly, and then relax more deeply afterward. It's like flexing a tense muscle, and then releasing the tension even further. Here's how to do it. Find a soft stress ball or grip device. You can even use a folded towel. Sit comfortably with your arm resting on a table or your lap. Squeeze and hold the ball at about 30% of your full strength, firm but not tight. Hold for 2 minutes. Switch to the other hand. Repeat 4 times total, 2 per hand. Do this 3 to 4 times a week. That's it. No gym, no shoes, just you and your hands. Why it works. Improves blood vessel flexibility. Trains your arteries to better respond to pressure changes. Calms the sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight switch that often fuels hypertension. The American Heart Association has supported research showing this method is especially effective for older adults and those with limited mobility. Do this while watching TV or during commercials. You'll turn downtime into healing time. Now, what if we told you that the next trick takes just 15 seconds, and all you need is a bowl of cold water? Stick with us, because trick number 3 could be your emergency reset button when your pressure spikes. Sometimes, the fastest way to calm your heart is to surprise your face. It may sound strange at first, but dipping your face in cold water can lower your blood pressure within seconds. This is called the diving reflex. It's a built-in survival mechanism that activates when your face is exposed to cold water. Just like seals or dolphins slow their heart rate when diving, your body does the same. Here's what happens. Your nervous system senses cold on your face. It triggers the vagus nerve, sending a powerful signal to slow down your heart rate. Blood vessels relax, pressure drops, and your body shifts from fight or flight to rest and repair. How to do it? Fill a large bowl with cold water. The colder, the better. Add a few ice cubes. Hold your breath. Dip your face into the bowl for 10 to 15 seconds. Come up slowly, breathe, and repeat once if needed. Too cold? Try splashing your face 5 to 6 times with icy water, especially around the eyes, forehead, and nose. This is especially helpful when your blood pressure suddenly spikes. You feel anxious, panicked, or your heart races. Important: if you have a serious heart condition or arrhythmia, ask your doctor before trying this. Now, what if the solution wasn't in your breath, or your hands, or even your face? What if the secret to calm was hiding right under your toes? Up next, a trick from traditional medicine that takes less than a minute. Your body is a map, and sometimes the road to healing begins at your feet. There's a small pressure point on your foot that may hold a surprising connection to your heart health. It's called liver 3, or LV3. and has been used for centuries in traditional Chinese medicine to calm the nervous system, ease anxiety, and regulate blood pressure. Where to find it? Sit comfortably. Look at the top of your foot. Place your finger between your big toe and second toe. Slide it up about 1 to 2 inches into the soft valley where the bones meet. That's liver 3. How to activate it? Press firmly with your thumb. Make small, slow circles. Apply pressure for about 30 to 60 seconds on each foot. Breathe deeply as you press. Why it works? Stimulates the parasympathetic nervous system. Helps dilate blood vessels and reduce vascular resistance. Decreases nervous tension that contributes to blood pressure spikes. This is especially helpful before bedtime if your pressure tends to rise at night, after an emotional moment or stressful phone call, when paired with breathing, like the 4-7-8 technique from earlier. You don't need to be a massage therapist. Just a gentle, consistent touch is enough. Bonus: many seniors report better sleep and fewer nighttime awakenings after adding this to their nightly routine. And finally, what if your voice, yes, your own voice, could become your medicine? Coming up next is a technique that requires no effort, no tools, and feels as relaxing as a lullaby, but works better than you'd think. Sometimes the softest sound can calm the loudest pressure. You don't need pills. You don't even need to move, because your own voice can be the medicine your heart has been waiting for. This final technique is called humming or chanting Om. It's been used for centuries in meditation, but modern science now shows it has measurable effects on blood pressure and heart rate. Here's how it works. Sit upright or lie down comfortably. Take a deep breath through your nose. As you exhale, hum or chant the word Om in a low, steady tone. Let the sound vibrate through your chest and head. Repeat for 60 seconds or longer if you enjoy it. You'll feel the vibrations almost immediately. But what's happening inside is even more powerful. Humming increases nitric oxide in the nasal cavity, a natural compound that dilates blood vessels. It stimulates the vagus nerve, which lowers heart rate and promotes calm. It decreases stress hormones, which are a major driver of high blood pressure. Think of it like tuning your body, the way you tune a guitar, one gentle hum at a time. This technique is especially effective before sleep, after a stressful moment, or first thing in the morning to set the tone for your nervous system. You don't need to chant out loud in front of anyone. Even humming silently to yourself can bring results. Now that you've discovered 5 simple, natural ways to lower your blood pressure in just seconds, it's time to bring it all together. Up next, the recap, the plan, and the most important decision you can make today. When it comes to your heart, it's not the big things you do once, it's the small things you do every day. You've just discovered 5 simple tricks, each one backed by science, each one taking less than a minute. Yet together, they could change your life. Let's take a moment to recap. The 5 tricks to lower blood pressure in 60 seconds. 1. 4-7-8. 2. Breathing, your built-in reset button. Isometric hand grip, a small squeeze for a big release. 2. Cold water face dip, the emergency power-off switch. Acupressure at liver 3. Calm through your feet. Humming or chanting Om, healing through vibration and breath. You don't have to do them all. You don't have to be perfect. But what if you chose just one and did it today? Because here's the truth. High blood pressure doesn't need more fear. It needs better habits. Think of your heart like a garden. Medication is the fence. It keeps intruders out. But these tricks? They're the water, the sunlight, the daily care. And when you use them, even for 60 seconds, your heart starts to grow stronger, steadier, safer. So what should you do now? Pick one trick, just one, and try it before the day ends. Then come back here and comment, "I tried trick number 8, and here's what I felt." Your story could inspire someone else. And if this video helped you, hit that subscribe button now. Every week we share practical, no-fluff tips for seniors like you to take back control of your health, naturally and confidently. Want a free checklist of these 5 tricks? Just type BP Reset in the comments below, and we'll send you a printable guide to stick on your fridge or share with a friend. And finally, if you have a parent, spouse, or neighbor dealing with high blood pressure, send them this video, because sometimes 1 minute really can save a life.